Hey guys, welcome back to Evony with Genghis on server 68. So today we're going to talk a little bit about my account, a little update. I haven't done an update video on my account in about 10 weeks. I think it was June 14th was the last one, and we're now September, right? August 31st, September 1st. I'm not even sure the date. But anyway, so I was 1.4 billion at that time. So 10 weeks ago, I'm now 2.2. So that's about a 300 million a month pace, and that's about what I do basically. I'll manage to get a building or two up a level, but mainly I'm focusing on troops at this point right now. So we'll just look around here and I'll go over a few things that I've done. Just click around here and get in. So embassy, a goal coming up is I want to max that. I want to get that to 35 this month. So that might eat into the troops that I'm going to do a little bit, but I would, because it'll cost me about 2 billion total. And you can see there, if this one's 800 million, the next level is probably going to be 1.2. So it should cost me about 2 billion of each resource to get it up to max. But I want to get that finished. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the future. Reason I want to get it finished is I'm thinking with the new announcement of 600 people in All Stars, maybe I can make it. And there you see I have maxed my defensive wall dragon. I'll show you that in here. I've actually maxed 3 out of my 4 dragons, and the 4th is almost complete. So this one I maxed a long time ago. I got advice to max 1 dragon and then stop feeding them and focus on gears, which is what I did. And now here is the very exciting Wonder 2, the Golden Wing Dragon. And you can see all the nice stuff he does. And I really want to up him because of his special skills for defense, but also just for his core stats that I'll show you here in a minute. Because it'll increase everything on defense, all the defense, all the HP, all the attack, just by increasing those core stats a little bit. So that will really help. It's plus it's just intimidating seeing that max wonder around the keep. And sometimes I'll hide it. I'll take it off and not let people think that maybe I don't have it. But anyone who's kind of a better player would scout and know anyways. But a little deception might help. So I'm just going to look at some one particular defense report just to kind of compare where I am. So this was about a month ago. The guy was qualifying for All Stars, and I believe he made it. But he has a 1,300% archer attack, which is very good. And I came away with an even defense on him, which I like. It gives me good confidence knowing that I can go out in SVS and just go up to anybody, and if they have 1,300, they're going to hit me, and it's not going to be too bad. It's not going to be the end of the world. And you can see my archer debuff is 520 on this one, and I've upped that as I added another ring to complete my final set of subordinate city debuff gear, so that should go even higher. I should be possibly, I've calculated, should be 555 now. So good increase on 520. And yeah, and then all my other defensive stats and 300 million more troops, it all helps, it all counts. And I've made a big change also. I changed over from on my wall. Sorry, I'm doing a voiceover, so I was just looking at other stuff here. So I'm just going to show you my final ring scroll that I have here first. And that's going to go on to what I'm going to show you now is my new mounted general. So I did have Barbarossa. He's an excellent mounted general, but I really only need one top guy, and I have Martinez, and I was saving him for PvP, and then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to change his books around and make him into a boss runner, and it's really helped. It's cut down on wounded. It's also helped in the world boss rankings. And there you can see his ring. He still has a dragon ring. And it has very decent refines, which, as I told you, don't do refines on Dragon's Gear. So learn from me, don't waste refines. But anyways, so I'm going to be adding the proper Achaemenid ring to him to make him even stronger. But I will lose the double drops, which not happy about that, but something to consider, right? Maybe I could put it on and off pending what boss we're going for. So you can see the refined. So I'll have to do a little bit of math because I will get the set bonus as well for having the second piece of Achaemenid gear. So maybe right away it would even be stronger. But we'll look at world boss rankings. Normally, for the last little while, I've been finishing in the 26 to 29 spot. And this week, after switching to Martinez and maxing my Fafnir Dragon, I now finished in 16th place. So I got level 5 Archer Monarch gear as a gift, as a reward, which was very, very exciting as I'm really trying to get all my Monarch gear up to level 9. And everything is at 2 pieces of 8. So I need that one more piece of 8. And almost everything's at 2 pieces of 7. So I got to get 3 pieces of 6 to add 1/7. So it'll give me another eighth piece, and then I'll have that 1/9. But some people might be on holidays from summer because there are a couple big names missing on our world boss rankings. But hey, I'll take that result in 16th place any day. I was very happy with that. And this is probably my last video of the week, as I'm going to be going to Mexico for a week. And I set those bubbles. And you know me, if there was not internet at the hotel, if there's any problems like that, I gave myself 3 days grace period there to figure out the internet situation. And if not, I will be finding some sort of internet cafe, if they still have those, who knows, and making sure that that bubble stays up. I did contemplate putting on a 7-day, but I figured, it's 2021. We will have internet at the resort. It is a 5-star, and but I've been at many 5 stars in the Caribbean that are not 5 stars, so you never know. So these are my troops, and just going over this past month, I really, really worked on my siege and T12 archers, and then get my horse slayers up. And this coming month, my goal is really, really work on the siege again and ground troops. I really want to defend better against archer attacks. And siege attacks. It's really the only thing that people do send at me, or at least early on. If they do weaken you, then they send other stuff. But my goal here is I would like to add about 1 million T13 and T14, so 1 million total for ground troops. And then I'd like to get my siege T14 up to 1 million. It's at 700,000 right now. I'd really like to get that up to 1 million, and then really just pump out those ground. I have the plan. I want to do about 15 to 20,000 a day of T13 and T14 ground troops, and that would get me to about 5 to 600,000 a month, and really, really hammer those out. And I'd like to get those numbers up. I think it's just very important. I'd ideally like to end up with about 500,000 more, 500,000 more of every other troop than I have horses, right, to protect them, because that's what everyone's trying to kill on you. So if I have 1.5 million T14 horse, I would like to have at least 2 million ground troops, but I'm going to have more than 1.5 million eventually. So I'd like to keep that going up all the time, right? Even higher. That's just a starting point. I'd actually like to have 3 million, have double to it. But so some goals I have coming up. I always like to set goals with my account. And over the next 3-4 months, one of the things I'd like to do is open up Wonder 3. This is not an easy thing to do. So this is a very high-end goal. I actually think this is harder than making All-Stars. In some ways, it's easier, but in many ways, it's harder. You have to get top 100 in the 4-week BOC, Battle of Constantinople standings. And they're very high scores. I'll basically need 10,000 points a week to get it. Sometimes you get lucky, and if it's not an all-star qualification period, you might only need about 8,500, 9,000 to make it. But it's a very difficult thing to do. And I'd also loosely kind of be considering maybe if I can make all stars at Christmas. So I had a goal set of having 3.6 billion power by Christmas, and that would be nice for an all-star run. And then they just announced they'll be having 600 people in all-stars instead of 300. So it should be easier. So it should be more attainable. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot more people who now will try because they don't feel as overwhelmed, right? There could have been a lot of people who were just, they didn't want to use the heel speeds, but now that it's more available, maybe there will be. So it should be easier though. You know, they doubled the spots. But I'll show you my heel speeds here and just show you. I've been stockpiling, but I'm really been running bosses hard and going through them as well. But mainly I stay about even. I just don't gain any anymore now that I'm one of the top boss runners in the alliances I'm in. And I don't gain any anymore, but those level 2 of, you know, turtles and golems, and they all give out healing speeds, so they make up for it. And I really focus on finding the number 2s on the map as well. Number 2s and 3s are the lifeblood of your alliance, and you need to really find them. And the 2s, they're all over the map. You just need to keep looking. And when you do get top 100 in BOC, and you get the Wonder 3 dragon, you also get these red wings. So you'll probably see some of them on the map. They look pretty cool. They're pretty unique and pretty rare, so you don't see too many people with them. On the older server, on the one I'm on now, I feel like I only see maybe 10 people who have them. Most people have them turned off and have dragons or something floating over. Dragons, they look really cool. But yeah, so those are basically my goals going forward. So let me know what some of your goals are going forward. If you need any advice, send me a friend request. No problem. I answer all emails all the time. So this is Wonder 3. See, I'm trying to get that, and that's where the dragon is. That's the big prize for getting Wonder 3 open. So yeah, so feel free to send me any questions in game. Or send me an email, a friend request. I'm not one of those people who charge money. I will reply as quickly as I can. Just don't be too insulted if I do delete you as a friend after a few days of not talking, just because I do get lots of requests, and I also have lots of friends on my server that I talk to as well. So it's just, you know, when you have too many people, it's hard to find people, especially if you're trying to send a report or send location of something on the map. So I have to keep that list nice and tight. But don't worry. If you got a follow-up question, re-add me, and I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So those are my kind of long-term goals, and where my account is at now. So I wanted to update every month, but it seems to be that I'm going about every 2 months or so. But I'll try and get in here in another month or so, hoping I'll be 2.5 billion power at this next consuming event, and go from there, and then hopefully a max embassy as well. So this is Genghis, server 68. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.